welcome to Unity Through Community. I'm Mary O'Brien, Community Ed Director for the Hastings Public Schools. And you may be an astute viewer and notice already that we're not in the studio today. I am so excited. This is our very first remote, and we're doing it in honor of June being Dairy Month. And we are really very fortunate to have with us today Janet, who's going to give us a tour. Janet is also, you're a para professional at Pinecrest?
At Pinecrest Elementary.
At Pinecrest Elementary.
Title I.
Title I, okay. And your daughter, Sarah.
Sarah is an 8th grade English teacher at Hastings Middle School.
And she was the Teacher of the Year this year.
Yes, she was. Very proud of that.
Yeah. And the person who's holding the camera today is?
My son Mike. That's Take a Hike Mike.
Take a Hike Mike. So Mike is the guy who, as we were talking about this, said, well, we can put this together because I live on the farm. So, and I thought this would be really interesting for all of us in Hastings to know. This, farm is right within the Hastings School District.
We are. We're only 3 miles right outside of Hastings.
Okay, and do you know how many dairy farms there are in the Hastings area?
In the Hastings area, not very many. I would guess less than a dozen.
Okay.
Right around the Hastings School District, there's probably, I can think of 6 right offhand.
Okay, but still, I live in Minnetonka, and there are no dairy farms in Minnetonka.
No, I bet there aren't.
There aren't. The lake, yes. Dairy farms, no. But I think this is a really integral part of our community with the co-op creamery, and your family, I know, has done so much for the entire Hastings community. You've put us on the map with being the dairy family for the NFL.
Absolutely.
So,
Go Vikings.
That's right. So it's very cool. So what we're going to do today is have an opportunity to walk around the farm. Janet's going to tell us some things. I'm going to ask all sorts of dumb city slicker questions.
Oh, there's never a dumb question.
She's going to be very kind. So we're going to get going here. Just want to tell you that as always, we have tons of stuff going on at Community Ed this summer. We're coming up on the 4th of July. It's kind of a slow week for us, but then the week after we're back. Programs are going on. The Playground in the Summers program is still going on. All of our enrichment programs, our Camp Horizons and Camp Big Shots childcare. And believe it or not, we're working on our fall schedule already. So if you need anything, if you're thinking, oh, I'd love to do a class, or the kids are kind of getting at loose ends, they need something to do, www.hastingscommunityed.com or 651-480-7670. Let's go see the cows.
Well, let's hope they're not too shy today.
Okay.
This is normally where all the cows live.
They hang out here?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They hang out here before and after milking. Right now there isn't any here, partly because some are eating and some are probably sleeping because cows spend a lot of time sleeping.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, they do. They rest up so they can produce that milk so you can have that milk on your cereal every morning.
Sure.
So we actually milk 130 cows.
Wow.
And then we have about 100 other animals on our farm, all cattle.
Okay.
The only other thing we have on our farm is kittens.
Okay.
And I bet we'll see some of those later.
Oh, that'd be fun. Okay, so now this is maybe not a dumb question, but milking is now, maybe because I'm old enough, I remember seeing pictures of people hand milking cows. That's gone the way of the dodo bird a long time ago. You don't do any hand milking.
Exactly right. We do milk all our cows by machine.
Okay.
It takes about 5 minutes to milk each cow by machine.
Really?
If you were to milk a cow by hand, it would take 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
So we have 130 cows. If my math is correct, it would take us about 32 hours.
Oh my goodness, well you couldn't do
to
that.
milk our cows.
Yeah.
And we do milk our cows twice a day.
Okay.
So we're talking way too many hours in a day
to
even get through milking the herd.
Sure. And you have all that equipment right here on site?
Yes, we do.
Is it called the milking barn?
It's called the milking parlor,
Oh,
actually.
the parlor.
Yes, the ladies go to the
Excuse
parlor.
me, girls. They go to the parlor. Okay.
Here they come.
Here
as
they
a matter
come.
of fact.
Hi.
But yeah, we milk every morning at 6 a.m. and every night at 5.
Okay.
And some farms do 3 times a day.
Really? Cows would produce that much milk?
They would. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Each time we milk the cows, they will produce about 7 gallons of milk a day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's why they need to eat so much and drink so much. They actually drink a bathtub full of water each day.
Really?
Each cow does. So we have many water tanks on the farm, and they're constantly being filled.
Okay. And this is something too that I think maybe people who are more city-bound don't know, is your cows kind of have free reign of where they want to go and what they want to do.
Yes, they do. We have the area here that you see. We also have what's called a free stall barn, which has stalls for each of the cows to lay in. But they have their choice of where they want to lay.
Okay,
And
so they don't have assigned seating.
they don't have assigned seating. However, it's surprising how they each kind of pick their favorite spot.
Her tongue was a little rough.
Yes, it's like sandpaper.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, interesting fact about cows, they have teeth on the bottom, but they have no teeth on the front top. They only have teeth in the back. So if you were to put your hand in the cow's mouth, for instance,
just get the gums.
you'd feel that roughness from the gums and the tongue, but you wouldn't be bitten because there are no teeth up on the top.
Now they seem to be fairly gentle animals. I think that's the kind of the lore, you know. Is that true?
That is very true.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my kids, Mike especially, has a lot of pet cows. He names them, and
Well, that was going to be
they
the
have
other question I was going to
personalities.
ask you is if you named all your cows,
Yeah.
but with 170 cows, it might
Yeah.
be kind of hard to remember.
We don't name them all, but there are some that just because of their personality.
Okay.
Cute story. This gate, actually, this is a used gate we've had for years, but for Father's Day, my kids purchased an automatic gate opener.
Oh, okay.
So you push a button, just like when you open your garage door. So you push a button, you don't have to get off the tractor, the gate opens, you push the button, the gate closes. Well, when they were working on putting this opener on the gate, there was one cow that was just pestering the heck out of everybody. And because they were working on a gate, that segued into Gates, as in Bill Gates.
Oh.
So we now have because the cows are all female, of course, we now have a cow named Billy.
Billy.
Because Billy drove them nuts when they tried to do the gate. So there's a story behind all of the names, but there's only a handful that have names.
Okay.
But they do all have numbers, and that's how we identify them.
Okay. And do you keep all the, because you have calves on the farm?
Yes, we do. You can see those shortly.
Okay. And do you have bulls so you can make calves, or do you do artificial insemination?
We do artificial insemination. When we have the calves are born, we keep all the females. They're called heifers, and they will eventually grow to be the milk cows.
Okay.
And they will milk when they get to be about 2 years old.
Oh, it takes that long. Oh, I didn't
They have to
realize
have
that.
their first calf first before they
Really?
can produce milk, just
Well,
like
just like a
humans.
mother, that's
How
right.
about that? Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. You know, you're not the first one to be surprised by that little fact. But normally it's about age
girls.
2 when they start producing milk, because they have to have a calf first.
Okay.
The other calves, if they're not a heifer, they're a bull, and that's the boy calves. And those we sell to one of our local farmers, and he raises them for beef.
Okay. Okay.
So we do raise a few just for, beef for ourselves.
You do. Okay. And so when the calves are born, do you separate them from their mothers? Do the mothers get to nurse them at all, or
Actually,
are they just doing milk for the rest of us?
Yeah, they're doing milk for the rest of us. Actually, what happens is when the calf is born, it stays with the mother just for a short time, maybe just a few hours, and then the calf is taken to an individual pen.
Oh my goodness.
The calf is, however, given the mother's first milk. It's called colostrum.
Just like it is with mothers. I taught childbirth education for
Oh, there
years,
we
so
go.
I know
Then
all
you know
about
all
that.
about this.
Hi,
Well, in case
Vivi.
you have a
How
viewer
are
that
ya?
doesn't know.
That's right. Of course. Of course.
So they drink the colostrum, and the reason that it's so important to give newborn calves that first mother's milk is because that has the antibodies in it,
Yep.
so that it will keep that calf safe until it develops its own system of fighting. And then the reason we take the calves away from the cows is because that gives us a better opportunity to monitor the calves, make sure that they stay healthy, and that they get everything they need.
Okay.
So it's kind of an old-fashioned, it used to be, oh, how cute, there's the mom and the baby in the pasture.
Yeah.
That's not usually done anymore.
Okay.
And if you look around, we don't even have a pasture here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Most cows now are kept in confinement, but I use that term very loosely because
Right, 'cause
confinement
they're
doesn't
not-
mean
no,
they're confined.
No.
It means they're in a pen, so they don't go to the
Right.
neighbor's house. But
Right. And I think sometimes people have that misconception about how animals are treated, and that's one thing that has impressed me so much about your blog, the way you write about the animals, and just the, we should feel very fortunate as consumers that you, as farmers, do such a terrific job.
Thank you.
Producing safe product for us. And you treat your cows with love and respect.
Absolutely.
And they are, they respond to that, it seems to me. So I think that's great.
Well, and that is our ultimate goal as dairy farmers, because number one, we farm because we love to farm, but we also farm because it is a way of living for us.
Right.
So we have to keep our cows happy and healthy, or we can't produce product. And if we don't produce product, we don't get paid.
Exactly.
So it's very, very important to us that we keep everything above board, safe, and everybody healthy.
Right, right. Okay, so on any given day, you're milking twice a day. Okay, so not knowing that, there's not like a pipeline, like a oil pipeline where it goes.
Where does the milk
Where
go?
does the milk go when you get done?
Okay.
Milking.
Okay, after we milk the cows, and that is all done, like you said, by machine, it travels through pipelines, it goes directly into a bulk tank.
Okay.
When milk leaves a cow, it's about 100 degrees, which is their body temperature.
Okay.
And we have to cool it immediately to 36 to 40 degrees.
Why is that?
Because we need to keep it healthy and safe.
Okay.
It's just like anything.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah, there's one of them rubbing its head on the
they're
fence
off.
in there, and then they all take off.
Okay.
So, but no, it's just like, you don't keep milk on the counter in your your
Okay,
house.
okay,
So you
okay.
have to keep it refrigerated to
Okay.
keep it healthy.
Okay.
So it gets cooled 36 to 40 degrees in what we call a bulk tank. And ours actually holds 1,000 gallons.
Wow.
And then that bulk tank is picked up by the milk truck every other day.
Okay.
And our milk actually travels to Woodbury, to Land,
It does.
to Land O'Lakes.
Okay.
And there it is either made into what we call fluid milk, which is milk you drink.
Right.
Or it could be made into a product like sour cream or whipping cream.
Yep.
Much of what is made at that particular plant is actually ice cream.
Really?
One of their biggest customers, at least in the past, I assume it still is Dairy Queen.
Really?
The-
Isn't that cool to know that your milk goes to the Dairy Queen? I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. So, but there's really strict regulations. I know you and I had discussed earlier about antibiotics.
Right, and I have adult children who now, thankfully they've given me grandchildren. Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have two, and one coming in September. And so, as they finish nursing, and we're starting to move the babies into cow's milk, they were pretty fussy about we have to have organic milk. So when I read one of your blogs that talked about what you do with the antibiotics and how we as consumers should really feel very confident that our milk is safe and it doesn't necessarily have to be organic. I did send that blog to all of them and said, okay, you guys, see, I told you. And we talked about that, and we just talked about that whole sense of, what organic is and what it isn't, and the safety of the milk products. So, hi, sweetie.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure, just a brief rundown. We actually have a testing machine right here on the farm where we take a sample of milk and we put it in the machine, and it actually reads to determine if there are any traces of any antibiotics. Because just like you and I, when we get sick, we take antibiotics.
Right.
Same is true with our animals. We try really hard to keep them healthy, but just
Right.
like us, unfortunately, we get sick.
Right.
So to be humane, we give them antibiotics to repair their health. So we test our milk to make sure that there are no traces of antibiotics. But also, the milk truck that comes, he also takes a sample of our milk, because it's not just our milk in the truck, it's several farms.
Okay.
So he takes a sample of our
And
milk
is that pretty
at
routine
each farm.
that they do the same farms?
Yep,
Okay.
they have an actual route, so
Okay.
they always go to the same
Okay.
farms. So they take a sample of our milk, and then when it gets to Land O'Lakes in Woodbury, then they test that sample
Okay.
before he even gets to unload the truck. So then they determine if it's safe, which 99.9% of the time it is safe. But and then if it is, of course, it gets emptied at the plant. If it's not safe for some reason, then they test the samples of all those farms to determine who goofed,
Okay.
who sent milk that has antibiotics in it.
Okay.
There's very, very strict penalties if
I would
we're
guess.
found out to have sent milk with antibiotics. We not only have to pay for that entire tanker of milk,
Wow.
not just our 1,000 gallons we put in, but every farmer's.
Wow.
And then we also can be fined besides. And we could also lose our license because we are licensed as dairy farms to sell milk, and we're actually inspected twice a year.
Okay.
Just like when you go to a restaurant and you have an inspector there.
Sure.
So very, very strict regulations. And I buy the milk at the store just like you buy your milk at the store.
Right.
I don't want to drink milk with antibiotics in it, and you don't either.
Right.
So we're very, very particular about that.
I have to say, after reading your blog, I have become just much more of a fan of and consumer of dairy.
Wonderful.
Because I just everything that you say about it makes me feel so good and so confident, and just was a good reminder for me about what an important part of our food and our good nutrition is dairy.
Exactly.
So yeah.
It's one of the safest products you can buy. It's never ever touched by human hands. And the milk that these cows produce tonight will actually be in the grocery store within 2 days.
I know, I saw that on your blog. I was
it's
just
extremely
amazed at that. Amazed at that. You don't keep any of the milk for yourself?
No.
Because it's not safe to drink, right?
Correct, because milk that comes straight from the cow is not pasteurized.
Right.
And pasteurized just means that milk is heated to 160 degrees to get out any bacteria that could possibly be in milk.
Okay.
And then it's ready to drink.
Okay.
It's actually illegal to sell unpasteurized, what's called raw milk, right on the farm.
Okay.
So the milk you buy in the store is the same milk I buy in the store.
Okay. You don't get a discount, do you?
No, I don't.
I always wonder about that.
Every time, it's supply and demand. Every time I buy milk, I'm, promoting my product.
That's right.
So.
That's right. That's so great. That is so great. Oh, well, the girls look very, very happy here.
Would you like to see the baby calves?
I would love to see the baby calves. Of course I would.
When my daughter was in 3rd grade, she had invited her class out for a farm tour.
Of course.
And at the end of the whole discussion, one of the boys said, "Well, what is your dad's real job?"
Oh, wow.
And it really got me to thinking.
Sure.
Wow, I just told you my husband is out at 5 in the morning and doesn't come in until maybe 8, 9 at night.
Yeah.
And you're asking what his real job is. It really got me to thinking how important it is to be an advocate for dairy. And then 3 years ago, I actually got the opportunity from Midwest Dairy. And what Midwest Dairy is it's actually kind of like our promotion firm for dairy farmers. So anyway, 3 years ago, they invited me to Kansas City to learn how to do a blog, Twitter, Facebook, anything promoting dairy.
How cool.
So I did that, and that's how my blog was born. They gave me the gentle nudge that I needed to get started.
Sure.
And then since then, they've invited me down the last 2 years to mentor new dairy moms to get started on social media.
Well, I think you're an awfully good choice for that because
thank you.
well, I think you're an excellent writer.
Well, thank you so much.
I really enjoy your blog because it's so well written. We have a couple people in Hastings that do some really neat blogs that I'm following, and I'm just like, these are so cool because they're just beautifully written, very informative. I love when you add the pictures, and I love your recipes. I have taken a few of those home and used those as well.
I try and blog twice a week.
Okay.
Depending on what's going on in life, if it gets crazy, I can't do it all because it's not my number one job, and it's not a paid job. It's just a job that I love to do.
Right. But you're making such a difference.
Thank
I
you.
think for the whole field.
Thank you.
It's cool.
I think as dairy farmers, we have to be, number one, transparent about what we do because people do care about their food. And secondly, I think I just want to share the passion our family has.
Where's your tiniest baby?
The tiniest baby. This is one of the tiny babies.
I was going to say, she looks kind of little. Hi, sweetie.
This one, actually, we have 3 high school and college girls that work on our farm. My in-laws had some health issues this winter, so they're no longer farming with us, or at least not at this time. So for the first time in the 31 years we've been married, we hired help.
Oh, wow.
So we have a high school girl and 2 college girls.
Well, I remember when you had that on the blog that you were looking for.
Oh, you betcha. If it happens on the farm, it ends up on the blog. So they get the opportunity to name the calves if they choose to.
Okay.
So that's what the pink tape is. This one is marshmallow.
Okay.
So that's one of the newer ones. That one is probably about 2 weeks old.
Oh, my goodness.
Within hours of when calves are born, they can walk, stand and walk, and so
Okay.
yes, they're very independent.
But the cows obviously give birth here on the farm?
Yes.
Do you separate them when they're getting ready to...
We have a birthing area.
Okay, okay.
Cow-
And do they call
yeah.
it foaling, like
No.
you do with horses? What do you call it?
Freshening.
Freshening. I love it.
Yep, that's what it's
I
called.
love it.
So, yeah, they actually have an area where they give birth to the calves, and that gives us the opportunity to keep a better eye on them.
Right.
Because there is occasionally times when either we have to assist with the birthing or we call a veterinarian to help if it's something more difficult. And unfortunately, there are times when you do lose cows because they don't make it through childbirth.
Sure, sure.
If they have a very large calf, or if they have a calf that's backwards when it comes out, that's very difficult for the cows to deliver.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart.
There's a cutie down here you have to see too.
Okay.
Our cattle are Holsteins, so they're black and white.
Okay, but
we
now
do-
how come this guy's brown?
Because
Or this lady's brown. Hi, sweetie.
this is Abigail.
Abigail.
Because this cow is a brown and white Holstein because she actually is a combination of recessive genes.
Okay, sure.
So even though her mom and her dad were both Holstein,
Hi.
she got the recessive genes brought together, and I have kind of a weakness for the brown and white ones. I think they're awfully cute. They're actually called red and white Holsteins.
Aren't you pretty?
So,
Aren't you pretty? You want to be on TV too? You want
And these
want me
guys
to put
all
the
get-
microphone on you?
milk in the morning
Okay.
and milk in the afternoon.
Okay.
So they each get like a half a gallon of milk each time.
Okay.
The babies get it's called sweet feed. It actually has molasses in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's to kind of encourage them to start eating. It also has special nutrients for the real young ones. And then when they get older, they actually get ground feed that we make here on the farm.
Okay.
And that's corn and oats.
Okay.
And then there's also additional nutrients added to
Okay.
that.
Because you grow a lot of your feed for the cows.
Everything.
You grow everything.
We have alfalfa, corn, and oats.
Okay.
And everything we grow
I
on the
know,
farm,
the fat.
we feed on the farm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the cows get, do they get milk that, a special kind of milk, or do they just get cow's milk?
The calves?
Yeah.
The calves actually get what's called milk replacer, and it's actually milk flakes. It's like powdered milk like you and I
Really?
would buy in the store.
Okay.
Yep. They get the colostrum milk at the beginning.
Yeah.
And the mother's milk.
Yeah.
But then that's only the first few feedings.
Okay.
So.
Now tell me why some of the calves have tags in their ears and some of them don't.
They will all eventually have tags in their ears.
Is that just how you identify
That's
them?
how we identify. The red tags are the females, the yellow tags are the males.
Oh, really? Okay.
It helps us if we have to give medication or a special diet for whatever reason, we can just identify it by the number. As you can
Okay.
see, we don't name all the calves. That's just kind of a fun thing.
Right.
So the numbers are just an easy identification system for us.
Okay. And you keep this going all summer long for
Yes,
'em?
we do. Normally during the winter months, this door is closed.
Yeah.
And
Do you have
obviously
heaters
okay.
in the
No,
barn?
it's all solar.
It is.
So
I
we just
think I remember you.
So we
writing
just have the
about that.
panels here, which keep it very comfortable.
Okay.
And the fact that it keeps the calves out of the wind, that
Sure.
in itself
Sure.
is hugely helpful.
Yeah. You're kind of my favorite.
But nobody named that one this morning, Mary. Maybe you have to name that one.
Sweetheart.
Sweetheart?
I don't know.
Sweetheart it
Maybe
is.
Lulu.
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 Ah, that's a good name.
Do you like this? Is this good? It's like a nookie. Now she's getting horns.
Actually, they all get horns, but then we put paste on it, and that dissolves the horns.
Really? Okay.
And the reason for that is just because when they do eventually move to a pen where they're not separated,
Yeah.
it's
You
just
don't want them hurting each other.
no, you don't want them hurting each other or the farmer. Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite part of being a dairy farmer?
I think actually my favorite part about living on a dairy farm is just the fact that it's a family farm. I get to see my husband every day. I get to see my kids every day. We work together as a family, which makes us very, very close. And
Sure.
I think that's my favorite part about farming.
But I just want to thank you for all that you do for Hastings. I think
you.
you have really put us on the map. I know that NFL thing was I thought that was just outstanding, and it was really neat to see that a family from Hastings received that honor and recognition. So
thank you. That was a very, very fun activity. I'll just briefly explain it. We got the opportunity to enter a nationwide contest where we had to show our love for dairy farming and our love for the NFL, and in our case, of course, the Minnesota Vikings. We had to present a picture incorporating those two ideas. So we did win, and last December we had Toby Gerhardt come to our farm when he was still a Minnesota Viking.
He's not anymore?
He's not anymore, yes. But he spent the day at our farm, fed the calves, a great time, just a fun way to share the dairy story.
Sure. Oh, cool.
So, but thank you so much. Thank you for coming to visit. Very, very nice having you here. So.
Well, thanks. Well, I don't know that we'll ever do a remote from the dairy farm again, but now that we did a remote, we may be out in your neighborhood pretty soon too. So, goodbye from the Bremer Farms. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you again next month.